Hi everybody. So today we're going to be looking at three-digit subtraction, and we're going to solve this problem in two ways. Well, I'm going to show you it with using place value blocks, and I'm also going to show you it with just looking at the numbers. And after we go over the strategy a bunch of times, you may say to yourself, you know what, I really like drawing out the place value blocks. It really helps me. Or you might say, you know what, I don't think I need them. So it'll be up to you if you'd like to use drawing them out as a strategy today, but don't feel like you have to. It's going to be a personal decision for you. So for this first problem, if I'm going to draw out the place value blocks, and please remember, if you ever want to pause the video and see if you could solve it for me, you always can. I'm going to go ahead and draw out 457. So we've got 400s, we've got 5 10s, and we've got 7 1s. Okay, so first we're going to look at the ones column. So the ones column says 7 minus 3. So we've got the 7 1s. If we take away 3 of them, we're left with 4 1s. Okay, then we look at the tens column. And there's 5 10s, and we want to subtract 1 10. So 5 minus 1 is 4. Then we look at the hundreds column, and there's 400s, and they want us to take away 2. So we're taking away 2 of the hundreds, and we're left with 200s. Now, same exact problem, I'm going to write it right over here. 457, I just want to talk it out how you would do it without the place value blocks. Okay, in Miss Santoro's class, I want you just to hear this like little bit of a different way that we talk about it, but it's okay. I know you guys have a poem about like the numbers on the top. What we say in my class, and this could help you too, is we always think about the top number as the amount of cookies we have on our plate. So like I always imagine that top number is cookies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I said, oh, if I have 7 cookies, could I eat 3? Of course I can eat 3. There's enough to have 3, right? So then I know I can do that subtraction. 7 minus 3 is 4. Then I come to the next column. 5 cookies. Could I eat just one of the cookies? Yes, I could. And 5 take away 1 is 4. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. And this cookies thing becomes important when you're trying to decide if you're going to need to borrow from the really generous neighbor, Mr. Tens or Mr. Hundreds. All right. So let's take a look at the next one, because in this next one, we're going to have to do some borrowing. And you might already have a guess looking at this problem as to where. So first I'm going to show you it with drawing out the place value blocks, and then I'll show you it the other way. Okay, so for this problem, we're starting with 842. So we've got 800. So I'm drawing those out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I've got 4 10s, and I've got 2 1s. Okay, and I look at my ones column. 2 subtract 2, 2 minus 2, I'm left with 0 1s. Here's where it becomes a little bit strange, because I have 4 10s and they want me to subtract 6 10s. I don't even have 6 10s. So what I have to do is I go to the most generous neighbor in the world, Mr. Hundreds. Okay, I always used to say Mr. Tens was really generous. To be honest, they're both just as generous as the other one. Okay, so we go next door to the hundreds and we say, Mr. Hundreds, can we borrow one of your hundreds? Sure, no problem. He gives us one of his hundreds, and when we take that as tens, we only take it if it breaks itself up into 10. So we go 10 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tens, which is the same as the 100. So he just gave us 10 tens. That's all he can give. Okay. So now the thing I just did was I changed 800s into 700s, right? And then I gathered up all of these tens, which are 14 tens, right? Or I took that 100 and put it in front of the 4 to make it 14. Okay, so now I've got 14, or 140 minus 60 if you're thinking it that way, but 14 minus 6. So if I'm taking away 6 of these tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm left with 8 tens. And now I've got 700s, and I'm taking away 5 of those hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500s, and I'm left with 2. Okay. Now just look over here, because I'm going to show you it when we think about it the cookies way, because I think kids like this way as well. So I think of the top number as cookies. If I have two cookies on my plate, can I eat two? Of course I can. Two, and I eat two, I've got zero left. Now I go to the tens. Four cookies. Can I eat six cookies? I can't. So I go to the most generous neighbor in the world. He gives me one of his hundreds. That makes this turn into that 100 goes in front of the four to make 14. I've got 14 minus 6, which equals 8, and 7 minus 5, which equals 2. So I'm left with 280. All right. Let's take a look at this one. This is a really interesting one when we draw it out as hundreds, tens, and ones. So let me draw this out first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hundredths, two tens, and three ones. Okay. So first, I go to the ones column, and it's 3 take away 7. And I can't take away 7 from 3. I only have three ones, and it wants to take away 7 ones. So I go to the very generous neighbor, Mr. Tens. He gives me one of his tens, and he breaks himself up into 10 little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the way that looks on here, these two tens turned into one 10, and now we've got 13 little ones. 13, right? Now I can take away 6. So I can take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I am now, oh, sorry, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I am left with 6. Okay, so 13 take away 7 is 6. But now we run into another problem. We've got 110, and we cannot take away 6 from this 110 that we have left over here. So we've got to borrow again. So now we're going to go to the next door neighbor that's also very generous, Mr. Hundreds. And he says, I'll give you 100. And we break that up into 10 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. So we took him away. He became an 8. And then this one becomes an 11. We've got 11 tens. So now I can take away 6 of those tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I am left with, oh, don't forget about this one. I am left with 5 tens. Okay. Now I've got 800s, and I'm taking away 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I am left with 3. So similar to that, just if you were doing it without using all the place value blocks, it would look the same, but I just want you to hear it with the cookies. So we start with the ones. 3 cookies. Can I eat 7? I can't. That would be impossible. I go next door. This 2, the two tens becomes 110, and that 110 makes this 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. Now, tens column. 1 cookie. Can I eat 6? I cannot. So this 9 becomes an 8, and this 1 becomes an 11. 11 tens minus 6 tens is 5 tens. 800s minus 500s is 3. Okay, so you have to decide which way works the best for you, to draw it all out or to just think about kind of the cookies. So for this way, I'm going to go straight to cookies here. Okay, so 5 cookies. Can I eat 7? I cannot. So I go next door to Mr. Tens. This 2 becomes a 1. This 5 becomes a 15. 15 ones. So I've got 15 minus 7, which equals 8. Then I go to the tens. 1 cookie. Can I eat 2? I can't. Oh no. So now I've got to go to the hundreds again. This 400 is going to become 300, and this 110 is going to become 11 tens. 11 tens minus 2 tens is 9 tens. 300s minus 200s is 100. Left with 198. All right, let's take a look here. So this is a word problem. It says John has 613 pennies. He has 273 nickels. How many more pennies does John have? This how many more is letting us know that we need to subtract, right? So we're taking the 613 and we are subtracting 273. Well, let's try to figure out what we should do here. So let's think about the cookies. 3 cookies. Could I eat 3 cookies? Yes. 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay. 1 cookie. Can I eat 7? I can't. That would be impossible. So I go next door. I borrow. This 6 becomes a 5. This 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 7 is 4, and 5 minus 2 is 3. He's got 340 more pennies. I'm sure he'd prefer to have 340 more nickels. Okay, here we go. Choose a number between 430 and 436. I'm going to choose 434. Subtract 280 from your number. And then it says draw place value blocks to show the difference. Okay, fun. I get to do my drawing of my place value blocks again. So first I've got to draw out 434. So let me make 400s. I'm going to make 3 tens and 4 ones. Now I go to subtract. I start with the ones. 4 minus nothing, they get to stay the same. Hooray! 4 minus nothing is 4. Oh, by accident, I added one extra 10 here that I wasn't supposed to. Sorry about that. So now I've got 3 tens. Can I take away 8 tens? No way, I cannot. So I go next door to the hundreds, and he says, sure, I'll give you 100, which is actually 10 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I can take away 8. So this 4 became a 3. This 3 became 13 tens. So I take away 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm left with 5 tens. And then 300s minus 200s, I'm left with 100 for my final answer of 154. And there's my place value block showing the difference. Everybody, make sure you read directions carefully today when you do your math. And always remember you could reach out to me or you could reach out to Miss Toro if you have any questions. Okay, have fun doing 3-digit subtraction today. I know you'll do great.